What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with the one and done preview for the Honda Classic. You'll note that I recorded half of this video yesterday and the other half I'm recording right now. So when we flip over to who I'm actually going to play this week, I'm going to look a lot different. Don't be alarmed. But the leaderboard was not updated yet by the time that I went to record this, so I gave it a little bit, and now we're going to look back and see how we did last week with the WGC Mexico Championship. And here were the most owned golfers in the one and done pool for last week. It was Xander, JT, Jon Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Hideki, and Bryson, rounding out the top 7. Pretty even distribution here. Xander led the way with 359 picks. JT right behind him at 333. So those two guys were the only ones over 250. But fairly even after that. There wasn't like a head and shoulders chalky play like we have seen in other weeks. So how did this turn out? Remember that we had Xander in our season long, and we picked Bryson in our weekly, which was terrible. But here were the actual results, and what I've done is I've favorited the 7 top plays of last week, and you can see where they rounded out. So Xander and JT were the 2 most popular. Xander finished in T14. We got that money, which I think was about $114,000. JT finished 9th. Rory was the one out of the popular guys that you wanted. He finished 2nd. Obviously, if you had DJ, who was, I think, the 9th highest owned golfer last week, he got you that W. But Rory lined the pockets of a lot of his owners. Hideki and Fleetwood tied for T19, and then Rahm and DeChambeau both pretty significant disappointments. You know, Bryson 6 over, never got it going. Played a little bit better on Sunday, but way too little, way too late for that. Just never really got it going, which was quite the surprise to me and the other few hundred owners that ended up rostering him. So where does that leave us? Pretty firmly still in the middle of this with two lineups here. Xander's official count was $128,000 that we got from him. Bryson, luckily, finishing almost dead last in a WGC gets you $55,000, which is still more than we got for DJ at Pebble Beach. So, or Justin Rose at the Desert Classic. So we've kind of wasted a few studs here in segment number 1, which I believe this week the Honda Classic is the final tournament of segment number 1. So if you remember, this tournament, this contest breaks the season up into 4 segments. So you can win any one of the 4 segments. You can win, I believe, the majors plus the Players Championship, and then the season long, I believe, are the 6 different ways that you can win this. So segment 1 basically finished here after this week. There might be a time later in the year where we focus on specific segments. I think segment 2 is going to be very popular because with the new schedule change, I suppose, and actually I didn't even think about this, with the new schedule change, segment 2, I'm assuming might host 3 majors in it. No, maybe 2. Maybe just the Players. It'll just be the Players, the Masters. They'll probably both be in segment 2 because you won't get, I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule, but I don't think the U.S. Open would be until the segment number 3. I'd have to look at the breakdown again, but segment 2 is going to be very, very important. So let's kind of transition to this week at the Honda Classic and see who we picked. All right, so who are we going to take this week? And it's a really good question, but let's look at the one and done tool. And JT leads the way, $72,000 in expected value. Oh, here's a fun little stat. Y.E. Yang is the all-time money leader at PGA National. $1.7 million over 8 starts. Ricky Fowler, $50,000 behind him. He could pass him this week. But I thought that was a fun little thing. And this is, I think, in the last 10 years, so don't quote me on this being all time. But pretty funny. Sergio Garcia is on this list. Zach Johnson's up here. Adam Scott is up here. Brooks Koepka is up here. What we're seeing is there's basically an elite 5. I'll go back to the cheat sheet here really quickly. And it's really the guys over $10,000 on DraftKings. Obviously, salary doesn't matter here, but JT, Fowler, Koepka, Adam Scott, Sergio Garcia, that's like the big five. There's a handful of guys I like below that. Like I like Cam Smith. I like Webb Simpson. I'm not really thrilled about anyone else down here. And there's not too many other guys that I think have a real significant chance of winning it outside of those five guys. Like those five guys are pretty good odds to win this thing. When the actual win percentages come out, I'll tweet out what the actual odds are that one of these five guys wins it. But especially in a field like this that is much weaker than we normally see at the Honda, I think we got to stick with one of those five guys. So here's what we're gonna do for our season-long lineup. Remember this one. We had Rory slotted here at the Honda Classic. Now, obviously, this is one of those situations where I don't want to get too crazy and start switching up the whole thing, because I think I did a really nice job of planning this out for the whole year. I don't want to blow the whole thing up. What I'm going to do, and this is kind of going to give it away for someone that I really, really like, is I'm going to switch him with Brooks Koepka. I had Koepka earmarked for WGC FedEx St. Jude. So I'm going to put Brooks here, and then we'll move Rory down. And since that's a WGC, we most certainly think Rory's going to play it. So that's what we're going to do. Very quickly, go watch the DFS video if you want to hear everything that I have to say about Brooks Koepka. But the short of it is this. Let me see if I can find this really quickly. Koepka, tee to green last week in Mexico, was awesome. Gained strokes in all 4 rounds, including 4.5 strokes on Sunday. Look at his putting numbers. Lost strokes every single round, including 3.5 on Sunday. That is not going to happen again. I'd be stunned. Otherwise, Koepka fits the mold of someone who would play really well here, and I think a lot of people are just going to overlook him. Also, if you remove the putting, Koepka's one of the hottest players in this field compared to his long-term averages. When you add in the putting, when you just look at putting, he is the coldest. It's unbelievable. So I'm making the assumption that putter is going to come back to at least, even if he's bad, right? Like he was historically bad last week. If he's just bad, he's going to make up a lot of strokes. So that's what I'm banking on there. And then the other guy that I like, and I wonder if I can find him. I'll just look for him down here. Is going to be Sergio. So Sergio's the guy that we're going to roll out in our. Here's his tee to green numbers in our weekly. So we were a week early on Sergio. We played a lot of him. Oh man, a couple weeks ago. Where did I play a lot of Sergio at? It would have been whatever his worst finish was. So we played a lot of Sergio at the Genesis 37th. Is that where we played a lot of him? 6th at the WGC Mexico, 3rd at the Dubai Classic in Abu Dhabi, I believe that is. So playing well worldwide. He had that DQ obviously in Saudi Arabia, but outside of that, and his numbers are looking pretty good. So for the strokes gained digits that we have, tee to green, he has gained strokes in every single round over his last 7 rounds. His putting numbers are a little more volatile. Lost strokes on Sunday at WGC Mexico. Other 3 days he gained strokes. Here's his around the green numbers this year, which is going to be important this week. Sergio's probably long-term better than his numbers show here, where he, Friday and Saturday lost strokes around the greens, but just feels like a pretty good fit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get 2 guys in the top 5, probably the 2 guys in the top 5 who will be the lowest owned, or the lowest picked in a one and done pool, which is something that I'm happy about. I'm going to try this, grab a stud and make it be low, try to get a low owned stud. But we'll see what it is. Again, it's early in the week. We'll see what the rest of the industry does, but I'm pretty happy about these two. Sergio's the type of player that I probably, I don't know where else I would have played him. Quite honestly, I wouldn't have been thrilled to play him in too many places, but this feels like a good week. Try to ride that hot hand a little bit. So there you go. That's what we're going with. Let me know who you're playing this week. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand, or leave a comment below. Good luck. See ya.